Hello and welcome to another session of Let's Learn German. I hope you revised what we did in the previous session and you are ready to learn something new today. In today's session, we are going to do possessive article in nominative. Now, as you know, article means that there are indefinite and definite articles. Well, there are possessive articles also. Possessive articles are basically where the possession of an object by a person is shown. So, the possession of an object or of another person by another person. So, possessive article means that, for example, as we say in English, my book, your house, etc., etc. Now, let us look at how the possessive article is constructed in German. In German, possessive article is constructed based on the pronouns. You are already familiar with these pronouns: ich, du, es, sie and sie. You know that ich is the first person pronoun singular, du is the second person pronoun singular, es, sie are third person singular pronoun, and sie here also is a second person pronoun in singular. Well, in German, the possessive article plays a very important role in terms of the ending of the noun and also based on the pronoun to which it is attached. Now, if you can see, under the pronoun ich, we have the possessive article mein, which is mein Vater, which is for masculine gender. For feminine, we have meine Mutter. For neutral, mein Haus, and for plural, meine Bücher. Well, if you look closely here in this category, I have written E or A as we call for feminine and for plural, which shows that whenever a possessive article is made for feminine and for plural in nominative, we have to use the ending E. So, for feminine we have meine Mutter and for plural we have meine Bücher. Now, let us look at the possessive article for du. For du, the possessive article begins with dein. So, it follows the same pattern for masculine: dein Vater, deine Mutter, dein Haus, deine Bücher. As you can see, I have written here and s together. The reason here is that both and s make the same possessive article, that is sein. So, for both and s, here it is sein Vater, seine Mutter, sein Haus, seine Bücher. Now, if you look at sie, sie here is the third person pronoun for feminine, and here, as you know, we always write the sie in third person singular pronoun with a small s. So, therefore, whenever we make the possessive article for this pronoun, we also use the small I here. So, as you can see, the possessive article for masculine is ihr Vater, ihre Mutter, ihr Haus, ihre Bücher. Well, if you look at the sie in the second person pronoun for formal, here you can see because the s is big, we also write the I big. So, there is no difference in terms of possessive article for sie in third person singular as well as sie in second person singular. The only difference is the difference in writing I or E as we call it. So, I here for third person singular is small, whereas I in second person singular is big. And if you see, the possessive article is for masculine here ihr Vater, ihre Mutter, ihr Haus, ihre Bücher. So, if you closely look at the feminine possessive article and plural possessive article for all the pronouns here, you will see that they have the ending e, all the possessive articles. Well, how do we know where to put the e ending and where not to put the e ending? For that, you should know the article and the plural form of each noun. Without the article and the plural form, we cannot make the possessive article. I hope you are able to understand this concept. Now, let us look at some examples with sentences where we can learn these concepts and understand them in a much better manner. Now, let us do some exercises where we can learn the concept of possessive article in nominative in a much better manner. Now, here we have the sentence das ist, and in bracket I have written the pronoun ich. Now, here we have the noun. We already know that the possessive article is written before the noun, and if you know the article of this noun, you can easily write the possessive article. You know that the article of the noun Buch is das Buch, and as you can see, this sentence is in nominative. So, we write for ich mein Buch. Now, let us look at this sentence. Wo sind Kinder? If you look at the bracket, here we have the third person singular pronoun sie, and for third person singular pronoun, we know that the possessive article is ihre, and you know that here ihre is written because of the noun Kinder, which is in plural, and the verb which is conjugated here sind shows that the noun is in plural. Now, let us look at this question. Ist das Auto? Now, look at the pronoun du. Here du, the possessive article is written as dein Auto, because auto, the noun, is in neutral gender, and we know that nouns ending with neutral gender or masculine gender do not have any ending. It is only valid in case of plural article or feminine article, like in the fourth example. Wo ist Wohnung Frau Bosch? Now, here we have the second person pronoun in singular, that is formal, and we know that if second person pronoun s is big, we write the possessive also big, which is ihre Wohnung, because the noun Wohnung has got the ending e, which shows that it belongs to the feminine gender. Now, let us look at this sentence. Ascha und Freunde spielen Fußball. Here in the bracket we have the pronoun sie, which is the third person singular pronoun, and like in the previous example, we write the possessive article for this noun ihre Freunde. Freunde means friends in plural, and as you can see, the verb has been conjugated with an ending, which shows that the noun is in plural. Now, let us look at question number 6. Das ist Kind, es ist 2 Jahre alt. And if you look at the bracket, we have the pronoun which is masculine pronoun in third person, and you know that the possessive article for masculine pronoun is sein, and there is no ending for this possessive article because the article for the noun is das Kind, and as you know, for neutral gender and as well as for masculine gender, there are no endings for the possessive article. Now, let us look at sentence number 7. Wo sind Bücher? Here we have the possessive article as deine, because we have the pronoun du, and as you can see here we have the noun in plural, which shows that we have the ending e here for the noun. Now, in the next segment, we will do some exercises and the student would write the answers and we would see if the answers are right or wrong. Now, we have an exercise here. In this exercise, the student is supposed to write the correct possessive article based on the correct gender, that is masculine, feminine, neutral, or in the case of plural, the right answer. So, the clues are given in the bracket. The student is supposed to write the correct answer based on the clues. Now, let us see if the answer given by the students are right or wrong. Now, let us look at the answers given by the student. Wo ist dein Schlüssel? If you see, the student identified that the noun Schlüssel belongs to the masculine gender, which is marked here by M, and based on the pronoun du, the student wrote the correct possessive article, which is dein. Look at this sentence, please. Meine Eltern wohnen in Hyderabad. Here, the student correctly identified that the given noun Eltern, which means parents, is plural and the possessive article should be based on the pronoun ich. So, here the student wrote the correct possessive article. Now, look at sentence number 3. Wohnt Ihre Familie in Delhi? Here, the student correctly identified that the noun Familie belongs to the feminine gender category, and thus based on that and identifying the correct pronoun wrote the correct possessive article Ihre. Now, in sentence number 4, ist das Ihr Büro, Frau Bosch? Here, the student correctly identified that the noun bureau belongs to the neutral gender category, and based on the pronoun, which is the second person formal pronoun singular sie, student wrote the correct possessive article ihr with the correct form of I, which is capital I. Now, in sentence number 5, seine Mutter ist Professorin und sein Vater ist Arzt. Here, the student correctly identified that here both the nouns Professorin and Arzt belong to feminine and masculine gender, and based on the pronoun the student wrote the correct possessive article seine Mutter, and sein Vater also the student wrote s here at the beginning because the sentence begins here. Now, let us look at the last sentence. Ihre Tochter lernt Deutsch. If you look at this sentence, the student was slightly unable to understand the problem here because of the possessive article, and therefore, instead of writing seine, the student wrote the wrong possessive article, and let us correct this mistake here. Here we have the correct answer. Here seine is based on the pronoun and the noun Tochter belongs to the feminine gender category. Therefore, the answer now is correct. Now, as you can see, our student was quite successful in writing the correct answers despite a small mistake. Well, that is not at all a problem. Learning a language always involves making mistakes. So, do not worry, and if you complete the exercises which you are doing and also revise them on a regular basis and learn the tables, you would be definitely able to learn the possessive article. In the next segment, we would do the possessive article again in nominative of the other pronouns. Now, let us look at the possessive article again in nominative with the other pronouns, as I told you. Here, we are going to look at the plural pronouns, and you are already familiar with them. They are wir, ihr, sie, sie. Like in the previous example, again we have two z's here, sie in third person plural and sie as well as in second person plural. However, when you look here, for the pronouns wir, ihr, sie, sie, there are certain similarities and there are certain new things. Now, let us look at the possessive article for wir. Wir, first person plural pronoun. The possessive article for masculine is unser Vater, unsere Mutter, unser Haus, unsere Bücher. Like for the other pronouns, here also, as you can see, for masculine and for neutral, there are no endings. However, for feminine and for plural, we have the ending e or a, which you already know is also the case for the pronouns in singular. So, the same concept is applied here. Likewise, if you see, for the plural pronoun ihr, the possessive article is euer Vater, eure Mutter, euer Haus, eure Bücher. Here, the ending also for feminine as well as for plural is a. Now, moving towards the pronouns sie and sie, here you know the third person plural z is written with small s, and likewise here the possessive article ear, the I begins with a small I. So, we have here ihr Vater, ihre Mutter, ihr Haus, ihre Bücher, and as you know, if S is written in capital, here the I would also be in capital. So, for Z second person plural, we have ihr Vater, ihre Mutter, ihr Haus, ihre Bücher. So, if you see, the new concepts here for you are the possessive article of wir and ihr, and the old concepts are the possessive article for z and z, and there is not any change as you see for masculine and for neutral gender article. However, the change only takes place for the nouns which are in feminine as well as in plural category. So, the presence of e or a in wir, ihr, sie, z possessive article can be written, as you can see, or can be distinguished with the noun which is attached to the possessive article. Now, we will look at some examples where the plural possessive articles are used, and we will see if you can understand them in a better manner. Now, let us do some examples together so that you can learn the possessive article in plural form in nominative in a much better manner. Please look at this sentence, das ist Auto, and here in bracket we have the pronoun wir. As you know, the article for the noun Auto is das, so we have here for wir the possessive article unser, das ist unser Auto. Now, let us look at sentence number 2. Ist das Computer? In bracket we have the pronoun ihr, and we know that for the noun computer article is der Computer. So, we write here the possessive article euer. Now, for sentence number 3, wo wohnen Eltern? Here we have the pronoun ihr and Eltern, which is in the category plural, we write the possessive article eure. Now, look at this sentence, Mutter ist Pilotin. For the plural pronoun wir, we have the possessive article unser, and the noun Mutter belongs to the feminine gender category. So, we write the possessive article as unsere, and we write capital U here because we begin the sentence. Now, in sentence number 5, Kinder lernen Deutsch. Here we have the pronoun sie. So, for sie we have the possessive article ihr, and since we begin the sentence we write capital I, ihre Kinder, because Kinder here is in the plural category. Now, let us look at sentence number 6. Wo ist Gepäck? Gepäck means luggage. Herr und Frau Bosch. Here we have the pronoun sie in second person plural formal, and for second person formal pronoun we use the possessive article ihr, because the article for Gepäck is das Gepäck. Now, here we have an exercise where the student would write the answers. In this exercise, the student, like in the previous exercise, is supposed to write the correct possessive article based on the clues given in the bracket. The clues are if the noun is in singular or in plural, and also the gender of the noun as well as the pronoun. So, let us see if the answers given by the student are right or wrong. Now let us look at the answers given by the student and let us see if the answers are right or wrong. Das sind unsere Bücher. Here the student correctly identified that the noun is in plural and based on the pronoun wir wrote the correct possessive article, that is unsere with e at the end. Number 2, ist euer Vater zu Hause? Here the student again correctly identified that the noun Vater belongs to the masculine gender category and based on the pronoun ihr wrote the correct possessive article euer. Lernen eure Kinder Deutsch? Here also the student correctly identified that the noun Kinder belongs to the plural category and based on the pronoun ihr wrote the correct possessive article, which is eure. And now if you look at the sentence 4, wo ist Ihr Auto, Herr und Frau Bosch? Here also the student correctly identified the noun Auto belonging to the neutral gender category and wrote the correct possessive article for the pronoun sie, which is ihr. So in today's session we learnt the possessive article in nominative for the pronouns in singular and in plural. As you could see, if you want to learn the possessive articles, you should know the article of the nouns, the plural forms really well. We did certain exercises and you could see that our students could successfully write the answers despite certain mistakes which are bound to happen. Well, that is not a problem. So for the next session we would continue with the possessive article, and till then you should revise the possessive article for the tables for all the pronouns. Like I say always, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss.